Welcome and thanks for joining us on your Saturday night. I'm Dana Marie McNichol. Tim Pham has the night off. Various organizations from Antifa to far-right groups rallied downtown Portland today. Police confirmed they arrested 13 people in relation to the protests.
This is the Portland Police Bureau. Do not interfere with officers taking lawful actions.
In many areas of the waterfront park, police formed physical barricades to separate rival groups and to ward off any potential threat of violence. In other areas, individuals chanted, "Go home, Nazis." Police confirmed they arrested 13 people in relation to the protests. Jonathan Vigliotti reports from Portland.
A city on edge as groups from the far right and far left took over downtown Portland.
They come here to try and cause trouble, and we don't want that trouble here.
If you are in the street, you will be subject to arrest for disorderly conduct.
Protesters marched through the city's waterfront park.
This is the Portland Police Bureau.
Mostly kept apart by heavy police presence. Portland's entire police department, nearly 1,000 officers, are all on duty today as they try to maintain peace here, making some arrests. The far right planned the event weeks in advance as a demonstration against what they called domestic terrorism, with counter-protesters showing up as well. A familiar scene for this city, with protests in recent years turning violent. So far today, police say they confiscated several weapons, including bear spray, shields, and metal poles. One protester was filmed spraying mace. But by and large, today was mostly limited to a war of words. Crowds have mostly dispersed, but there are some protesters now marching in the city. As police remain on alert, this community relieved by the relative peace kept so far. Jonathan Vigliotti, CBS News, Portland, Oregon.
We've been experiencing gorgeous weather across the inland Northwest today, but things could be heating up into the 90s again next week. Meteorologist Michelle Boss joins us now with a look at the forecast. Michelle?
Got a little bit of heat in the forecast for next week, but the second half of the weekend is looking pretty nice. We had a few clouds today, partly cloudy skies, but now just high clouds out there, and even those are thinning out, looking for clearing skies overnight and even more sunshine tomorrow than what we saw today. Very comfortable temperatures out late this evening in the 60s in Spokane. Has cooled down into the 50s in Sandpoint, still in the 70s out in Moses Lake and in Omak. Here's a look at the next 12 hours, heading towards mostly clear skies and a sunny start to your morning. Temperatures warming up to the mid-70s by 11 o'clock in the morning. Will be a little bit warmer tomorrow in the lower 80s, maybe a degree or two warmer on Monday, and then heating up towards 90 by Tuesday.
Moms Demand action groups held over 30 rallies nationwide today, pushing for stricter background checks requirements when purchasing firearms. KREM's Brandon Jones was able to attend the rally in Coeur d'Alene today.
Before the group took to the sidewalk with their signs, they had a moment of silence for victims who have died from gun violence. They talked about the most recent mass shootings that took place in Dayton and El Paso. Alice Arambari is the North Idaho group leader for Moms Demand Action, and she wanted to make it clear that the rally was bigger than politics.
It's an epidemic in this country that a lot of people don't even realize how many people die every day. It's not just the mass shootings, it's every day, and we need to take action.
The group had a diverse turnout with ages ranging between toddlers and 80 years old. Many of the supporters that were at the rally say they are just ready for some type of change.
I do believe people should have the ability to have a weapon for protection, but I don't think it needs to be a high-capacity weapon.
According to Alice, another Idaho rally is expected to take place tomorrow in Boise.
Thank you, Brandon. Well, those who were in attendance wanted to stress that it is not a political issue, but a human issue. There was a positive energy in the air, and people from both sides are pushing this bill to be passed. From now until September 4th, the Kootenai County Sheriff's Office will be conducting DUI Emphasis patrols. They will be focusing on DUI driving and other aggressive behaviors. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration stated that in 2017, there were nearly 11,000 deaths nationwide from drunk driving crashes, and 220 of those were deaths children 14 years and younger. The same year, there were 80 people killed in Idaho as a result of drunk driving. Well, the Williams Flat Fire is still burning 2 weeks after it was first reported, but crews are gaining control. So far, it burned nearly 45,000 acres on the Colville Reservation. This morning, the fire was 83% contained. Firefighters are still working to strengthen and secure the lines around the fire. Crews blame lightning as the cause of the fire. And level 1 evacuations are still in place for areas south of Four Corners. The notice also applies to campers on Lake Roosevelt along 9 Mile Hellgate Road. Level 1 means stay away from the fire situation around you. Washington State has now killed all remaining members of the wolf pack that have been regularly preying on cattle in Ferry County. Today, the Washington Department of Fish and Wildlife said 4 more wolves from the OPT pack were lethally removed. That on top of 3 other wolves that were killed earlier this month. WDFW says the pack was responsible for 14 livestock attacks in the last 9 months, 9 in the last 30 days. It's believed all of the wolves from the OPT pack are now dead, but officials say 1 additional wolf has been spotted in that same area. That may be from a different pack. There are currently 27 known packs in Washington at the moment. Well, U.S. Custom computers are back online today after the system suffered an outage for hours across North America. Airports in New York, Los Angeles, Toronto, and Canada tweeted alerts warning of long delays as passengers were processed manually. International travelers endured delays and long lines for hours yesterday as they were processed as well. The outage also affected many other airports, including Seattle. School starts in about 2 weeks, and we want to make sure students around the Inland Northwest are set up for success. That's why KREM 2 is teaming up with a few local organizations to host the Tools to Schools Drive. I had the opportunity to talk with an amazing teacher that fully depends on the drive during the school year.
Lucas Jensen is that cool teacher everyone hopes to get in middle school.
I have a lot of Disney references, Disney jokes.
He teaches science at Westwood Middle School in Cheney and is getting ready to kick off the school year knowing not all his students will come with everything they need for the first day of school.
We had a new student that came one time and their anxiety was so high because they didn't have friends, they didn't know anything about the school, they didn't know where the school supplies list were, and on that first day when they received that backpack, you could see that it relieved a lot of the anxiety.
Mr. Jensen is talking about one of the 150 backpacks provided by the Tools to Schools Drive. People donate school supplies to area stores that land in the backpacks of students all over Spokane.
Having the right tools changes the attitude that we see in the kids, where they're more excited about being in school. It kind of becomes that fresh start for them.
Nick Harper is a student that has really benefited from the success of the Tools to School Drive.
It means that I'm getting helped, and it means that people are caring.
He said the comfort of knowing he has all the supplies to succeed gives him confidence.
I feel less nervous. I feel like I'm more prepared to get what I need done.
With a fish tank and a fully stocked tool station in Mr. Jensen's classroom, the donations keep his class focused on the fun stuff like robotics and biology.
Taking away any barriers to allow them that opportunity to learn really is essential to just the classroom, and as a teacher, it's really nice to have that.
The drive is put on through Communities in Schools, an organization that helps students with more than just school supplies. The middle school also has a fully stocked pantry and clothes for kids to use when they just need that extra support.
It's more than just fixing a quick problem. It puts a kid on a radar to, is there more? And we can help these kids on levels that they may not ask, but all of a sudden you realize, wow, these guys are really here. Beyond just, here's your textbook and here's your pencil. It's more about like, they care about me and they want me to be the best that I can be and they want to help me.
Just stop by any area Walmart in Eastern Washington or North Idaho to make a donation. Crayons, pencils, notebooks, you name it, anything and everything makes a difference to these kids in schools. A few Office Depot locations are also taking part, as well as some Horizon credit unions. And you can still make time to donate. One more day, the drive ends tomorrow.